Okay, so question 9. The school has 72 tutor groups. Each group has 28 students. So straight away with these two lines, I'm going to look at doing 72 times 28. It's a good habit just to write down exactly what you're doing before you put it in your calculator. So we get 5,904. So that's how many students we've got in that class. School B has 16 tutor groups. Each group has 18. So 16 times 18. So again, 16 times 18, I'm going to put that in my calculator. And I get 288. 72 times 28. I'm just going to double check that. 72 times 20. Oh, getting a completely different answer. What did I do before? Sorry, that's coming out as 2016. 72 times 28. Yeah, 2016. So that seems a wee bit better. Show that the number of students in school A over the number of students in school B is a whole number. So 2016 divided by 288 gets me 7. And I'm going to just finish it off. Whole number. Okay, question 10. Boxes chocolates each contain 25 chocolates. One box costs $3.25. A shop has a special offer, 2 boxes for £5. How much cheaper per chocolate is the special offer? So it is per chocolate. So one box, $3.25, and you get 25 chocolates. So if we get 2 of them, it's going to be £6.50 for 50 chocolates. And we get 2 boxes for £1.50. 2 boxes for £5, which would be 50 chocolates as well. Which means it's £1.50 of a difference. And £1.50 divided by £1.50 divided by 50. So I'm going to take that £1.50, I'm going to divide it by the 50 chocolates, and I get 3p. Now, we could also just sort of say, well, if we've got £6.50 divided by 50, in this box, the one chocolate would be equal to 13p. £5 divided by 50 is 10p. Which means, again, you can see the 3p. So either you can work out what the difference is in the price and divide that by 50, and you get 3p, or you can work out the other way and just make sure. So once you get this, then the price of one chocolate would be 13p. £5 or 500 divided by 50 gets you 10p, and that's a difference of 3p. So you can see that I've got the right answer of 3p per chocolate being cheaper. Work out the area of this triangle. Okay, so for the area of a triangle, we need the formula area is equal to a half times the base times the height. And the base and the height must be at 90 degrees. So there's the 90 degrees. So we're basically going to do a half multiplied by 2.6 times 9.8. So 0.5 times 2.6 times 9.8 gets me 12.74. Make sure that your answer seems to make sense. That's about 10, that's about 3. 10 times 3 is 30, half of 30 is 15. 12.74 seems reasonable. Circle has a radius of 11.5, work out the area. So if the radius is 11.5, the formula for a circle is pi r squared. So again, if you take that as 12, 12 squared, 144 times by 3, we're looking at about the 300 mark. So we're going to just put that in our calculator, pi times 11.5 squared. So pi times 11.5 squared gets me 415.5. Again, to check this, I'm just going to put 11.5 squared in my calculator first, press equals. Check that I get close to what 12 squared is, which is 144, which I do, it's 132.25. I'm going to times that by pi, which gets me 415.5, which is correct. Now, does it say any decimal places? No, so that's us. Question 14. A machine takes 4 seconds to fill a packet of crisps. So we've got 4 seconds, so 1 packet. In total, how many packets can 35 of these machines fill in 8 hours? How many packs can 35 of these machines? So we're going to have 35 in 8 hours. So let's work out what 8 hours, we're going to have to convert that into seconds, or we can convert the seconds to hours. So just remember that there's 60 minutes is 1 hour, which means to go from there to there, we have to divide by 60. Go the other way, we've got to times by 60. So I'm going to times by 60. And remember that there is 60 seconds in 1 minute. So to go from minutes to seconds, we have to times by 60. So if I've got 8 hours, I'm going to times it by 60, times it by 60, which gets me 28800 seconds. And it's 4 seconds to fill a bag of crisps. So I'm going to divide that by 4. So 28800 divided by 4. So one machine will be able to do 7,200 bags. Okay, so that's one machine. So let me just repeat what I've done. In 8 hours, I've converted it to seconds. And I'm just going to deal with one machine to start off with. So it takes 4 seconds to fill. So I've got to divide this by 4 to see how many packets I'd fill. That shows me how many packets it is. And then I have got 35 machines. So I'm going to do 7,200 times by 35. 252,000 bags. 252123. Just checking that I'd filled in the thing, so it's asking the bags. Each packet of crisps contains 32.5 grams of crisps. Work out at what rate does the machine put the crisps into these packets. So we're wanting grams per second. So we get 32.5 grams, and we're putting that into a bag in 4 seconds. So 32.5 divided by 4 gets me 8.125 grams per second. Okay, because we're wanting that down to 1 second, and we know that the machine contains 32.5 grams in 4 seconds. That's all put into the bag, into the machine, so it must be 8.25 grams per second, because after 4 seconds it's got 32.5 filled. Okay, question 15. Complete the table for x squared minus 2. So I always go to the positive side first. So this is a calculator question, so I'm just going to put in 3 squared take away 2 press equals, and I get 7. I'm then going to press my back button on the calculator and delete the 3 out and replace it with a 2. Press equals, and I get 2. So if I look at this and try and, it's always going to be symmetrical when it's a cubic, so I can probably see that this is probably going to be a 7. Now what we've got to do is when we put negatives in with a squaring, you've got to put brackets around it to tell the calculator to square the -3. And if I put that in, I get 7 as well. Okay, and you can kind of see it makes a little sort of pattern. For this bit, you've got to plot it, so we're going -3, 7. Now, some of you got an answer that's off the graph. If it's off the graph, I'd go back and check your working. Make sure you've done it right. -2, 2. -1, -1, -1. 0, -2. 1, -1. And then I think we're going back up, aren't we? 2, 2. And finally 3, 7. It's quite hard for me to draw on this screen, but this bottom bit should be a nice curve. You shouldn't be using straight lines. You shouldn't be using a ruler. Okay, and obviously you're trying to curve it all the way up. I'm not going to manage it. Okay, but you're trying to get the curve all the way up to these points. So it's not going to be looking the best, this one, but something along the lines of that. Obviously, it's a bit easier on a bit of paper. Complete an accurate drawing so that the angle, so what PQR, QP, and then we're wanting R somewhere up here. Okay, and then here you're going to have to measure 53 degrees. So you need to make sure you get your protractor, and then you've got to measure this line as being 7.5. Okay, so it's this angle in here that should be 53. Now, I've not drawn this actually. You need to use a protractor to get that. Make sure you use the right scale, remembering that that is 90 degrees. So you're expecting it to be somewhere in there. Now, I think I've done that too high, too steep. Probably needs to be down a wee bit. Question 17, you've got to multiply out brackets. Now, when it says multiply, it means that you've got to put a little kiss at the top, make sure it's timesing. So we've got 5x times 3x. 5 times 3 is 15. X times x is x squared. That'll get you one of the marks. Then you've got to do 5x times -2. So that gives us -10x. And that would be multiplied out. Okay, question 18. The scatter diagram shows the age of some cars 2009. All the cars are the same make and model. What type of correlation? Okay, so this is known as a negative correlation. Write down the value of a car that was an outlier. Now it says write down the value. So there's the outlier because it's away from the set of data, but it asks you for the value. So the value is 4,000. Use the graph to estimate the value of a new car of this make and model in 2019. So shows the value of some cars 2019. And what are we looking for? We're looking for of a new car of this make and model in 2019. So in 2019, that's when it's 0. So we're looking up here at, what's that, 15,000. Now what have we got? So 15. I think it's actually slightly more. So what have we got? 2,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2,000 divided by 5. So if I do 2,000 divided by 5, I get 400. So each square is 400. So 4, 8. So 14,000 plus 400 plus 400 plus 400. 1, 2, 3 is 1,520. But I think you probably get away with just sort of saying 1,500, but I'm just going to put down the 200. car of this make model has a value of 5,600 in 2019. Use the graph to estimate. A car of this make and model has a value of 5,600. So 5,000, I've kind of drawn this outlier a bit, so 4,000. So we're looking somewhere along here now. We've got to draw a straight line. That's where I'm going to mess up a bit. Again, we're looking at around the sort of 7 years. But it's asking you what year. So if you get an answer 7 years, it is an estimate, so I'm just going to put 7. I think it might be a wee bit more than that, but 2019 plus 7. Take away 7. So we've got 2012. So 2012 would be the graph of that one.